Who would you say is the biggest beneficiary of these amendments?
If you look at the amendments, it actually kind of spans across different kind of demographics of immigrants. What you should see is as a progress of extending it bit by bit, rather than a focus on one particular area, and particular focus. Yes, there are benefits to people who are long termers, but there's also, you have to see kind of talent circulation as one big cycle about the people who are coming and the people who choose to stay, and kind of along the lines of how do we make those processes easier and more open for people along that process.
Now let's talk about your campaign for disability inclusion for foreign residents. What kind of people have you worked with?
The first person who actually kicked off this initiative that brought it to our attention. His name is Oliver, and he was a French national living in Taiwan. He was suffering. He was onset by a sudden case of ALS, and very very severe, basically rendering him from a completely autonomous individual in Taiwan, and over the course of a year, completely immobile and dependent on his the family of his former girlfriend's family to take care of him, because he had nowhere else to go. He had no, Taiwan was already his home. He's already been living here for decades. He was unable to afford a lot of financial expenses that were piling up due to his treatments, and his inability to access even something as simple as a free wheelchair or a wheelchair, because he could not prove he was disabled through that without the official recognition.
How would the amendments benefit people like Oliver?
We were able to first open up disability certification last year, and convince Ministry of Health and Welfare to open it up to people from countries with a reciprocal relationship. However, that was an administrative move. With this current reform, it cements into law. Not only cements into law these protections, but also opens it up to people from any country, who are permanent residents, who are foreign professionals, and who have lived in Taiwan for 10 plus years.
Apart from disability certificate, I understand that getting government subsidies requires household registration. How does that work for permanent residents here?
So currently, according to the law, only naturalized or citizens of Taiwan are able to acquire household registration, which is huji. Unfortunately, even people who are able to acquire disability certification are finding themselves without without household registration, and inability to be able to access a lot of very main services and assistance that are actually open and available for people with disability in Taiwan. You'll find that a lot of financial subsidies relating to help in paying for expensive medical equipment or treatments are still unable to be accessed. The reasoning for this, according to the Ministry of Health and Welfare, is that if you don't have household registration, they have no ability to gauge their assets, because a lot of these subsidies are based on an individual's financial assets before it's calculated. So it's still a gap. However, they're able to qualify for certain services and benefits, such as something as a disabled parking permits, and at least recognition by their medical providers that they do have a disability.